Welcome to Movie Mentor, where we share with you tools and techniques for making your first feature film. Hi, I'm Jeremiah, and it's a beautiful winter day in Summerlin, California, so I decided to shoot this video outside. And in this video, this is part 2 of my 5 ways to raise $100,000 to make your first feature film. I want to mention, which I did in the first video, that I've successfully used all of these fundraising techniques that I'll be sharing with you today. I also want to say once again that none of the things I'm going to talk about today, these are not get money quick schemes or gimmicks or anything like that.
Avon calling.
Weren't you just here?
These are professional techniques that filmmakers, independent filmmakers use to raise money for their feature film projects. All right, well, let's get started and jump right in. There's a lot I want to share with you today. In part 1 of this video on how to raise money for your first feature film, I talked about 2 really important fundraising techniques. That was your pitch deck, and I talked about the details for that, and also crowdfunding, and I talked about crowdfunding platforms. Well, the next thing I want to talk about, the third way to raise $100,000 for your film, is through grants. Now, this is most often used for documentaries, but I've seen it used for fiction films as well. Grants are typically given by 2 groups, by nonprofit organizations and by wealthy donors. Now, foundations have specific giving guidelines for who and what programs they will fund: poverty, education, social justice, etc. Where wealthy individuals usually have pet causes, could be children, the environment, education. When raising grant money, the key is to find foundations and rich folks who care about the subject of your film project. Now, there are some things you'll need to do in order to be able to raise grant money. The most important, having what is called a nonprofit fiscal sponsor for your film. Now, there are specific organizations out there like SF Film and IFP that specialize in being fiscal sponsors for your film project. So I put a couple of links below for you to go down and check those out in case that's something that you want to find more information about. When I started in film, I worked as an editor and producer for social issue documentary films. And there was one Oscar-winning filmmaker who I worked with for many years, and she had a sign on her office door that I'll always remember. It said, "Imagine if you had to beg for a living."
Please, sir, I want some more.
What? What? Ask for more?
Going after grant money can often feel like begging, and you'll have to jump through some hoops. But the wonderful thing about grants is that it's free money. A regular investor in your film expects to get their money back plus a return on their investment, where a foundation or a wealthy patron who gives you money only wants to support your film getting made and seen by an audience. The next fundraising topic I want to talk about is one that can be a little bit sensitive, but it's really important. And that is getting financial support for your film from family and friends. It's a fact that the people who will most likely be your first investors are the ones who love and care about you the most. And those are your family and friends. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. Filmmaking is a team sport, and it's important to have people around you who believe and support you. All that said, money and family and friends don't always mix well. It's important that when you're raising money from the people you know and love, that you be 100% professional. Treat your family and friend investors as you would any other investor. Get them excited about your film project, give them the full pitch, and have them sign the same legal documents that you would a stranger. Be upfront and honest with them. And this brings me to another really important point that I always tell aspiring filmmakers, and that is to ask yourself, how much money do I think I can raise from the people I personally know, meaning your immediate circle of family and friends? And be honest with yourself. Come up with a realistic number. Is it $5,000 you think you can raise? $10,000, $50,000, $100,000 more? Whatever your number is, know that it will most likely be the budget of your first feature film. And don't see this as a limitation. See it as a liberation. What I mean to say, and I say this kindly, is if the script to your first feature film calls for car crashes or battles on alien worlds or other things that you know will cost a lot of money, and you don't think you can raise the money needed from the people you personally know to make that film, then that film project should probably be put on the shelf for now. And you should focus on making a less expensive film project as your first feature film. And by making this very simple change to your vision, you're basically guaranteed to raise the money you need to make your first feature film. And isn't that the point? What can I get for free? This is another critical and often overlooked question when raising money for your first feature film. The more you can get for free, the less money you have to raise.
What'd you get? USA Today. Nice, put it with the others.
Now, these freebies are usually listed in the budget as in-kind services or donations. And if you really put your mind to it, you'll find that there are a lot of freebies out there that you can resource pretty easily. Some of my favorites are locations, crew, equipment, costumes, cast, and food. At the end of the day, you can technically get everything you need to make your movie for free, but that doesn't mean that you should try. It's best to find a good balance. Sometimes paying a crew member or paying for a location is the best way to ensure quality, and that someone will follow through on what they say. It's much easier for a crew member to flake out on you if they think they're only doing you a favor. Keep in mind, this is your first feature film and not your last. The film world is a small one, meaning that everyone knows everyone. Develop a reputation as an honest, straightforward filmmaker, someone who cares about the people they work with, and you'll be rewarded with a long career. We've covered a lot of information in these videos, and to wrap up, I want to say that there is no right way to raise money for your first feature film. Every film project is unique and will require its own unique fundraising strategy. And if your goal is to raise $100,000, then you will use most or all of the techniques I've discussed in these two videos. And one final note to end with. Fundraising can be done in stages. You don't need to raise the entire budget for your film right away. If you can, great. But it's also a good strategy to raise enough for each stage of your production. Raise money from family and friends to develop your film and get it ready to shoot. Then use a combination of freebies and money raised maybe from a crowdfunding campaign to actually shoot your movie. Then finish and distribute your film with a combination of investor funds raised through a pitch deck and maybe grant money. Whatever combination works for you is the right way to go. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to go deeper into any of the particular area of film fundraising I covered today. And for more detailed information about how to raise money for your first feature film, please be sure to download my free ebook, The Feature Film Fundraising Starter Kit. There's a link for it below. Take care and good luck with your fundraising.